Congratulations! If you're watching this video, you've just been accepted into a Polish medical school, but you have no clue what to expect. Hi, I'm Melodramatic Melissa. I'm a fourth-year medical student at the Medical University of Łodz, and today I will be telling you 10 things you need to know before coming to Poland. Number 1, clothing and weather. Now, the weather in Poland can be very cutthroat. Like, we get really hot summers up to like 33 degrees, and then really cold winters up to -11, and it can get colder. It snows every year in Poland, and we also get bouts of heat waves. So my advice to you is to pack for both extremes. But don't forget to pack your thickest coats, your snow boots, your hats, your scarves, and most importantly, your thermal, because it can get really cold in this country. Seasonal depression is very real, and as the days get colder and darker and we kind of lose our sunlight, you will need to get vitamin D tablets, and you can get this in stores in Poland, so don't worry about it. Number 2, your documents. Now, you don't want to be that person who forgets to check if their passport is expiring soon. So I would advise you to have a checklist of all the documents you need before coming to this country. I've made a short list for you, and I'll probably put it around here, and let's go through them one by one. Translations, legalizations, etc. Make sure all your high school documents are in the appropriate format for your school, and if you're unsure of this, make sure to email the admissions office so you know exactly what you need. Visa requirements. Make sure you have an appropriate visa before coming to this country, and this also applies for the UK and British citizens too. Like, you gotta have it now. I'm sorry. Check if your passport is up to date. Make sure you put a travel note on your bank card in the application before coming to a different country, so you don't get charged unnecessarily. Check if your SIM card is able to roam in different countries, as whilst traveling you might need access to internet or Wi-Fi. Insurance. Now, EU citizens, you need to have your European health insurance card, and I have mine right here. It kind of looks like this blue little thing. Your European health insurance card ensures that you're able to get free healthcare in any EU country you visit. Immunization. Now, in medical school, they will need confirmation that you've been vaccinated against hepatitis B, and basically you need to ensure that you have these documents in check. But don't worry, if you haven't been vaccinated, you can get these done in one of the Polish clinics that the schools will provide. So, yeah. Number 3, devices and charging. Now, in Poland, we use a 2-pin plug. And if you're coming from countries that use a 3-pin plug, 3-pin plug, I advise you to get yourself a UK to Europe travel adapter, and I'm gonna put a picture of it right here. If all your devices have a 3-pin plug, then you will need this adapter when you come to Poland for the entirety of your studies, so it's a really good investment. And if you're not able to get it now, I would advise you to get at least a power bank, just so that you're not stuck in the airport with no charging, and a 0% battery life, because that will suck. I also purchased this travel adapter in one of the shops we have in Poland, and it is called Mediamarkt, and it's probably much more cheaper than if you were to buy it in the airport, so look into this. Number 4, accommodation. Accommodation in Poland is relatively cheaper than most other EU countries, and this is because we use the currency zloty, not euro. Now, for first years, I would advise that there's 2 routes for you to go when looking for accommodation. The first one is going to the student accommodations provided by UMed, your medical university, and then the second one is going to private dormitories. Now, the school accommodation. The school accommodation is a good option for students as it is relatively cheaper than if you were to go private. However, it's very hard to secure a spot. There are 3 main accommodations that UMed provides: Dorm 1, Dorm 2, and Dorm 4. Now, between you and me, I hear that Dorm 4 is the nicest, so don't quote me on this. All the dormitories come fully equipped with common kitchens, laundry rooms, bathrooms, and of course, you get your own bed. Now, if you're thinking of going through private student dormitories, there are 3 main private dormitories for students in Łódź, and we have Base Camp 1 and 2, Student Depot 1 and 2, and Chillin'. And you can choose based on your preferences, because the way I see it, Base Camp gives you a little too much, Student Depot gives you what you need, emphasis on what you need, and Chillin' gives you what you deserve. Except you have to share the bathroom and the kitchen. Base camps are typically the most expensive. However, they have a state-of-the-art gym and they frequently advertise as the biggest gym in Łódź. They have study areas, chill areas in which parties are frequently thrown. They also have really modern rooms and you have the option to basically have your own room or share with someone for obviously a cheaper price. Basecamp 1 typically has really good transportation, as with all the dormitories anyway, and very close to like your shopping area. So we're thinking Lidl, Biedronka, Żabka, which is actually part of the building. So it's really good for new students. Also very close to one of the school hospitals, which is CKD, Centrum Clinic de Titr. Okay, like all good things, there are cons. Now, the first one is Basecamp 1 is closer to the hospital and Basecamp 2 is farther away. So you have to be very careful choosing like which of the base camps you want to go to. Next, the bigger and better your room, the more expensive it will be. So you have to take note of this. Laundry is quite expensive in base camps. And lastly, they are known for throwing frequent parties, so it could get quite loud in your room. However, a quick shout to any of the base buddies and they will get it sorted for you. And now, student depot. This dormitory gives you what you need, and I say this because you have a small gym, only one study area, one gaming room, very close to the shopping mall Galeria Łódźka, which is basically where you will be doing most of your grocery shopping. There's a Lidl there, etc. And very close to your major transport system, which is Centrum, where all the trams frequently meet. Your room can be shared, or you can opt to have like your own private room, and of course it comes with like a kitchenette, a bathroom, everything is yours. Also, laundry is cheaper than the base camps and chilling, so this is pretty good. With all good things, there are cons. Now, Student Depot 1 is not as modern and you don't have as many chill and study areas as you would with Basecamp. Also, we have there's an increase in price, so every year the price kind of increases a little bit, but you'll find this with most of the private accommodations just because the cost of living is increasing. Of course, not as expensive as general Europe with, euros, but it is still increasing. However, the new Student Depot 2 is much more modern than Student Depot 1. However, it is further away, so you should always consider these options. You're better off going for Student Depot 1 or Basecamp 1 if you're a new student. And now, chilling. This dormitory is the best of both worlds in the sense that you get good transport to school, and that is to your labs and also to the hospital. So you basically have modern rooms and apartments equipped with a microwave, an oven, a dishwasher, a fridge with a good working freezer. An emphasis on that dishwasher because base camps and Student Depot don't give you a dishwasher in your room. Also, Chillin has a massive, beautiful rooftop balcony in which you can hold different events like birthday parties, etc. And now the cons. Chillin has an expensive laundry. It is more expensive than base camp, but not as expensive as Student Depot. So we have this happy medium here. There are no true chill/study areas in Chillin. They don't have a gym. Again, the rent, we have an increase in rent, and also it's an apartment, so you can never fully get everything to yourself. You have the options of sharing with 2, 3, or 4 people, and of course the more people you share with, the cheaper your rent will be. Now, as a first year, the benefits of living in a student accommodation is that you're able to mingle and make friends with people in your course and also people who aren't in your course. You also gain a study buddy and you get much more exposure and information than if you were to have just simply rented an apartment all on your own in a city you don't know, in a country you've never been to, So yeah, think about this. And it can be very lonely studying alone without any family and any friends in a cold country. So living in a student accommodation gives you an opportunity to make friends, family, and a community you never thought you could have had. You also get the opportunity to form new bonds with people, which will without a doubt make your uni and student life much more eventful and fun. By the way, if you're enjoying my content and you find it helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe down below. Okay, moving on. Number 5, currency and language. So you're in the airport, what should you know and what should you have? Now, the currency used in Poland is called the zloty. €1 is equal to 4 zloty 28 grosz. $1 is equal to 3 zloty 87 groszy. £1 is equal to a whopping 5 zloty and 7 grosz. This means, depending on what country you come from, this currency converts really nicely, and it is important to have some cash in hand. I recommend having between 100 zloty to 200 zloty, just in case you run into any trouble and you need to pay for something and your bank card isn't working. You get the gist. The national language spoken in Poland is Polish, and if you're coming here, there's a high chance you don't know even a lick of Polish. So what should you know as a new person coming to Poland? If you find yourself in a tough position, perhaps in the airport, here's 4 simple phrases / words you need to know. Dzień dobry. Dzień dobry. This means hello or good day. Przepraszam. Przepraszam. This means excuse me. And now you really need to learn this word, because if you're trying to get someone's attention, it's typically respectful to call out to them first. You can't just go and tap random people. So przepraszam. Przepraszam. They will immediately turn back and try and help you. Dziękuję. Dziękuję. Dzięki. This means thank you. Nie mówię po polsku. Nie mówię po polsku. This means I don't speak Polish. Now, say you're in the airport, you need help with something, but you don't know how to get it. What do? Firstly, you should look around for a friendly face and call out to them by saying, przepraszam. You could continue with nie mówię po polsku, which means I don't speak Polish, or you could just say przepraszam. Do you speak English? If yes, explain your problem in English and they will do their best to help you. If no, have your message already translated into your phone and they will do their best to help you. Google Translate is going to be your best friend in this country, trust me. After the conversation and you've received the help that you need, the polite thing to do is to finish up with a simple thank you. And like I said, it is dziękuję, dziękuję. I already made a short video on 8 words you need to know before coming to Poland, and there's gonna be a link below. So if you're interested, make sure to check that out. Number 6, transportation. Now, if you're an Irish citizen like me or British, you can fly directly into Łódź Airport for a little less than 3 hours. Other airports you might consider are Warsaw Shopping or Warsaw Modlin, and you can either use a train or a bus to get from Warsaw to Łódź. My advice for newcomers coming to Łódź is that it is better to use a Flixbus, because this bus takes you directly from the airport to Łódź Fabryczna. And all you need to do is to download the Flixbus app and book your ticket in advance. You don't even need to speak Polish because the app is entirely in English. Now, using the Flixbus is slightly more expensive than using the regular train, but much cheaper than using an Uber from Warsaw to Łódź. In Poland, there are certain transport applications you need to have already downloaded in your phone, and I'm just gonna go through them briefly and then I'll elaborate on it. So, number 1, Jak to jadę, Bolt, Uber, Kolio, and of course, Google Maps. Jak to jadę is a Polish transport app that tells you how to get from one location to another. It's in English, so you don't need to have it all translated. It offers the nearest times for your destination. It has the bus number or tram number. It even has a built-in map in the app, basically to help you get from your location right now to the bus stop and then, the time for the thing to happen. So it is an absolute must for anyone coming to Poland. They even have this new feature called Interrail where you can basically buy tickets for a train. So this is also really good. So in conclusion, the Jak to jadę app helps you find the nearest transport to get from one place to another. And it helps you with the buses, trams, and even the train now. So Google Maps, just make sure you have this. Uber and Bolt for getting around the city in Łódź if you're perhaps late for a class. And Kolio is really good for booking trains within the country of Poland. Now, since you're coming here as a student, always remember that most transportation offer a 50% discount to students. So make sure you're clicking the reduced price or the ugovny. But beware, if you're clicking the reduced price, make sure you have your legitymacja studentka, your student ID, so that you don't get fined. Moving on, number 7, phone and bank. Now, when you're here, it's important to get a Polish number and register for your new Polish SIM. I use Orange because it was the first one I saw. I saw that they had like pretty good deals, like 30 zloty for unlimited calls and also the internet. And I can also roam with just 30 zloty, which is about €7. So when I go back to Ireland, I'm able to use the Wi-Fi, the internet package from Orange here too, and also other EU countries. So it's a really, really good deal. Next, bank. Choose a suitable bank. When you arrive in Poland, it's important to get your bank in check because this makes it easier for you to pay for rent and other things. And also, it prevents you from having to constantly convert your currency as it has a built-in currency converter, and you can also open up like a euro account, a dollar account, etc. in the application itself. I personally use the Santander Bank because they offered to give me a power bank if I joined, and I've been using them ever since. It is very student friendly and most students use this. Number 8, shopping. The 2 main and closest shopping centers to you would be Galeria Łódzka and Manufaktura. Now, these 2 shopping centers have just about anything you can think of. We're talking Bershka, Stradivarius, Zara, KFC, just name it. Anything you need, it will be in that place. Your grocery shopping can be done in Biedronka, Netto, Lidl. If you're EU, you're probably very familiar with this one. Żabka, like your little corner shop, and also Auchan. This is a very, very big mall. It's kind of like the Tesco's of Poland. Now, if you're looking for electronics like that travel adapter I told you about, you want to go to this place called MediaMarkt or Allegro, and this is basically Polish Amazon but cheaper. If you're looking for beddings, home equipment and kitchen, the cheapest option for you will be to go to Action. But we also have IKEA, we have Pennies, Primark, and of course there's the big Auchan. These places should be the most affordable for you. Number 9, Booklists, Dresscode, and devices. By now, you've probably received a full list of books with people's names you can't even pronounce. Do you need to buy them all? The answer is no. The most important book you should get is your Moore's Clinical Anatomy book. Everything else will either be given to you by your teachers or you'll find them lurking around in the library somewhere. In general, I would advise you to take the first week of your education as kind of like an introduction. Your teachers will tell you everything you need to know. You don't need to stress at all. For your devices, a simple book and pen is all you need. You have to have a good quality laptop, and of course, if you do have it, the option of an iPad or a tablet is also good too, but this is optional because I only got my iPad in 3rd year, and now a good quality laptop is really, 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 really important. Now, the world is going digital, and this also means your studies are too. So the most important apps you need for the school are MStudia, Teams, and Outlook. And now for your iPad or tablet, I use Notability as my note-taking app, but I know people also use GoodNotes, so it's really good as well. I also use like a very cheap paper-like screen protector, so it kind of feels like I'm writing on paper when I take notes on my iPad. Now, outfits. In your first year, the most important thing to have is a white lab coat. This means you don't need scrubs. You only need to have scrubs when you're in 4th year, and don't waste your money buying figs. You don't need a stethoscope either. You only need this when you're in 3rd year. So the most important thing you need is a white lab coat. Dress code in school is anything you want, but it must be appropriate. So you can choose to wear formal wear on some days if you want, or you can choose to wear really casual wear. Me personally, I only dress well on the first day of school, and then the next days can kind of like just take a hike. Lastly and finally, number 10, TRC and insurance. Now listen to me when I tell you this. These are the most important and crucial points in this entire video. I'm very fortunate to have an Irish passport, and for most EU citizens you don't really have to worry about this, but if you're British and if you're from any other country, you need a TRC, and by this I mean a temporary residency card or commonly known as Karta Pobytu. The temporary residency card is a card that permits you to stay and study in Poland once your visa has expired. It is a serious offense to stay in Poland longer than your visa has expired with no TRC. They take this very seriously, and you could face deportation if you do not have your required documents. Now, the moment you land in Poland, give yourself 1 week to get adjusted to your new living situation, and then find a very good lawyer. Once you find a good lawyer, you're going to want to annoy and pester him and basically be his problem and not his peace until he starts the application process for you. I'm saying this because these lawyers have thousands of kids and people to attend to, and it's very, very easy for them to forget that your process is supposed to have, started, and you could get into very serious trouble if you don't have this document. So make sure you pester your lawyers, okay? They have to start the process as soon as possible so that you're able to stay and work and study etc. in Poland. Now, I've never had to go through this gruesome process, but from what I gather, the first TRC you will get lasts for around 15 months, and then the second one lasts for around 3 years, and then the last one depends on when you graduate. So you need 3 TRCs in total for your 6th year of your medical studies. For EU citizens from Ireland, from Spain, from Germany, wherever, getting a TRC isn't as strict or as stressful for us because as EU citizens, we are allowed to stay in Poland for no more than 90 days. However, if you do want to get a TRC for yourself as an EU citizen, you can start the process, put your passport in, make sure you have all your documents, and then you get a TRC for 10 years, which is pretty good. Very, very lucky. Now, the way most EU citizens do is that we're allowed to stay here for 90 days, right? So assuming you have your Christmas holidays in December and you've arrived in Poland in October, then you can leave during your Christmas holiday. It automatically renews when you come back on New Year's. You leave again on Easter, it renews, and so on and so forth until you get to summer. You go back home again, spend 3 months, come back, it renews. So this is how you plan to stay for 90 days and no more, no less. Yeah, but the TRC process really, really easy for EU citizens, and there's no harm to just try and apply for it and get it done. Insurance. Now, for EU and non-EU citizens, when you come to Poland, you need a good insurance. So PZU is a trusted Polish company that basically covers you for, say you get sick in the winter and you have a cold, or perhaps, God forbid, you run into an accident. You have up to 10,000 euro that you can claim, and basically they just kind of take care of you and all this kind of stuff. So it's really, really important to look into this. And that's it. But I do have a couple of bonus questions that some first years had wanted me to reply to, so I'm going to do it here. Is medicine hard? Personally, I think it's doable. I don't think it's hard. The problem is just the pressure to succeed in such a short amount of time. Now, that's the problem. So you just have to learn how to study and you'll be able to do it. Don't worry. Is first year hard? No, it's not hard. The problem is just finding your balance between study and fun. It's an introduction year. It is definitely a huge step from just finishing secondary school or your high school, but it's an introduction. You learn as you go. You will figure it out. Don't worry about it. You learn your basic sciences, anatomy, medical biology, things like this. Don't worry. How do I pay for my tram or bus ticket? Now, this is a really good question. Because I'm Irish, I typically pay for my bus fare with the driver before getting into the bus. But in Poland, it's nothing like this. You just kind of hop in and hop off. So you might be worried, is it the people actually pay for transportation? And the answer is yes, people do pay for transportation. Now, there's 4 ways to pay for transportation in Poland. The first one is by using the Jak Dojadę app that I had mentioned earlier in the video, and then the second one is by using your bank application, that's Santander or whatever bank you're registered with. The third one is actually paying in the bus, and there's a little ticket machine and you just kind of pay with your card. I don't think you can pay with cash. You pay with your card. And then the fourth one is to get something called a migawka. This is basically a Polish transportation card. It is similar to your Leap card if you're from Ireland, and basically you pay a sum of around 200 zloty and you are covered for 3 months, so you don't need to mentally think of paying anytime you get in or out of the bus or tram. But once you have this card, you're sorted for 3 months, and then you have to renew again. Try not to get fined. Make sure you pay your bus or your tram fares, regardless of whether or not you see people paying for this. And that's all. We are finally done. My voice is gone. Oh, that rhymes. Anyway, like and subscribe if you've enjoyed this video and you found that it gave value to your life. And I wish you the best of luck and all the success in your medical career. Like, you've got this. Don't worry about it. Bye.